Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier podcast, episode 3. I'm your host, 30 and Still Gaming, and joining me this week is not Wolverine. It's our good call-in segment here. Our co-hosts today are Gritter and Krebsy. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing well. Hey, everyone.
Doing well. Sadly, Wolverine can't join us. I hope we can subside.
Yeah, he had some scheduling issues at the very end of last night's episode. He's like, dude, I don't know if I can make it. And I was like, it's all right. I'll either go solo or I'll ask you guys to join me, and here you are. So it's good that way. Those of you that don't know what this show is, we go over, we review over or breakdown of the episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 3, each and every episode. We usually do it on Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. But because of scheduling issues for myself this past week, we did it now combined total on this Tuesday. We do the call-in session on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we just combined the two today. So if you haven't seen this episode, I suggest that you do not watch this episode. It's a spoiler alert right here. We will be talking about spoilers and theories and suggestions and whatever that we come up with during this segment. So if you haven't watched any of the episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't know why you're here. Maybe you're just here for me. I appreciate you. But if you haven't seen it, please back away or go watch episode 3 and then come on back. Watch this after the fact. So, all right, gentlemen, you guys ready? I'm going to break it down. We can discuss it as we go.
All right, I did it. Let's do it.
All right. So, third episode is Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's called The Power Broker. It opens up with a commercial for the GRC, which is a montage of families, getting reunited after the blip, and it ends with the motto "Reset, Restore, Rebuild" in German. And then John Walker, the van pulls up, and the van opens up, and John Walker and Hoskins are in the van, and they lead a tactical unit and raid on the civilians who helped the Flag Smashers in the last episode. Walker knocks on the door, and then the police grab the computers and start arresting the users. Now, John Walker is confronted in German, or he confronts the guy in German by the owner, okay, and he asks Hoskins to translate, and the owner denies knowing anything about Carly, and then spits in John Walker's face. He says, "Don't you know who I am?" And he screams at him, and then the guy spits in his face, and he says, "I know who you are, and I don't care." At this point, I want to ask you guys, all right. At this point, last episode I was telling Wolvie, I was like, I don't think John Walker has powers, and he says he does, and this is one more evidence that I believe he does not have any kind of super serum inside him, because when that dude spit in his face, he just kind of like shoved him back, not in a strong way, just like he just shoved him back like a normal human would, right? Gritter, do you think he has the serum inside him?
Not anymore. I know I keep going back and forth, like, wishy-washy, but you make a good point. Like, I don't think, because I think he has a temper, and I think if he had the serum, his temper would have gotten the better of him, and he would have shoved the person back a little too harshly,
right?
And it would have been apparent.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the way he shoved that guy back, it just didn't seem like he was very super strong. Krebsy, what do you think? Do you think he has the serum in him?
Last episode I thought he did. This episode he 100% does not. If he did, that guy would have been smushed.
Yeah, I feel like I'm vindicated just a little bit more. Not officially, because he could still have the serum in him, right? But all evidence shows right now, to me personally, that he just doesn't have it. Because, dude, I don't know if any of you have had someone spit in your face or insult you in any way, shape, or form. Like, even your own adrenaline would get you mad enough, right?
Yes.
And you would lose your temper, and I don't know. I just feel like he didn't have it. So the owner taught. He speaks perfect English. He just didn't want to respect, the new Captain America. Walker and Hoskins leave without a clue, and they decide to bet on someone who's got a better hand, which obviously is Sam and Bucky. So it transfers to Berlin, and Sam and Bucky are walking, and they're escorted. They're going through like the hallways of the prison or whatever, right? And he says, "I'll go and talk to him alone." And he's led through several security doors to Zemo's Hannibal like Hannibal Lecter's kind of like cell, the see-through cell. I always want to know why they always put like super villains behind clear cells and not just bars. And it's probably, I don't know, I'm sure there's some reason. But it's just funny because if it's not them to get handed stuff, the dude's got like a desk and books and all this other stuff in his cell, so it's not like he's not getting anything into his cell. So I really like this scene that they set up here because it reminded me sort of like an Ocean's 11 type of thing where we wanted to know how he escaped, and Bucky is like, let me give you a hypothetical, even though it's really theoretically that's what it was. It wasn't hypothetical at all. So he starts to talk to Sam, and now they're in this abandoned garage. He's like, where are we? I don't know where we are. He's like, let me tell you something. And he opens up the light, turns on the things, and then it starts to do a flashback scene, right? And it shows that before that, Bucky says, Sam is against working with Zemo, and he's too dangerous. Bucky reminds him that Zemo hates super soldiers. Sam brings him up the assassination of King T'Challa, and then how Zemo framed Bucky previously, and then now it goes to the cell scene, and Bucky asks, Zemo, and Zemo does the commands like he did with Hydra to see if he still had stuff in him. And he's like, that doesn't work on me anymore. And then he asks him what kind of book he reads, and he says Machiavelli, right? And so when Zemo opens the book, there's a code key inside there, and it's hidden inside, and this montage happens with Bucky investigating the fight between the two prisoners. He slips him a piece of paper that says he's going to kill you when you go to sleep tonight, and then all of a sudden kill him before he kills you. And this whole fight breaks out as the prisoners rumble and lock down. It shows Zemo uses his card to exit the cell. He beats up the guard and puts his uniform on. He trips the fire alarm, and then he hides in the cell and guards run by, and then that's basically it. He escapes, and then he meets him up at the auto place. What did you guys think about this whole scenario, Gritter? What did you think?
Well, for one, I think Zemo's cell remind me of a more sophisticated version of a Hannibal Lecter cell. I mean, not to say that Zemo's a cannibal, but he's a very intellectual villain. Like, someone you want to, you would not want to. You could probably Well, I don't know if I say you can beat him in a fight now, because you really can't beat Hannibal Lecter in a fight. You really can't beat Zemo in a fight, like as we saw in this episode. But that's what the vibes I got from his cell. And as far as him breaking out, I want to ask y'all: is it just me, or did Zemo really not need anyone's help to break out? It looked like he broke himself out. Like he could have always broken himself out.
What do you mean that he could have broken himself out always? What do you mean by that?
Who slipped? Was Zemo? Well, because I'm confused at how the prisoners, who slipped to the paper. How did the prisoner originally get the paper to slip to the other prisoner? So
what happened was Bucky asked him what kind of book he read, and he said Machiavelli, and he got him another book, a Machiavelli type of book, which is Machiavelli, and I forget the other author that was on the other person that's in that book. He gave him another book by Machiavelli, and he slipped him the card, right? So basically, what it was showing as they filmed it. It was two different time frames, right? It was Bucky showed up and asked him questions, and then asked him what type of book he's reading. And that was Bucky trying to find out, okay, he reads those types of books. So then Bucky later gave him another book. And as he was leaving, he had a piece of paper that he threw on the table, right? It's just a small little piece of paper that threw it to the prisoner, and the prisoner, he read it and said that guy's going to kill you before you go to sleep tonight. Okay. So it was just him trying to taunt people to do it, right? So the book and the key card were given to him by Bucky. Okay. Right. Okay. Go ahead.
No, I think I like the narration of this. I liked how Sam thought there was really a choice for him, but he didn't realize the choice was already made. Like his expression when Zemo showed up, it's like I really liked that. I thought that was a nice little twist. I thought, I think this kind of, I don't know. I guess now that I look at now that you explained it more, because I was worried they may be compromised legally with helping Zemo get out. So I guess maybe they still are in a sense, but I don't know anymore. I still liked how it came out.
Well, I think before I let Cresby speak, I think they've separated themselves from the breakout, right? He broke himself out, even though technically Bucky broke him out with the key and gave him a book and stuff like that. So Bucky could go down. But for the most part, they're separated from it. I don't think there would be any trace of how he got the card or anything like that.
True.
So I think they're safe there. Now they could be in trouble because they're working with him just in general.
Yeah.
So whatever they cause problems there. Krebsy, what did you think of that scenario of Bucky visiting Zemo and the whole breakout scene?
Honestly, I feel like it's a bit of a cop out because Zemo killed the king of Wakanda, and I think that all like should bring him to the raft, the prison, and the whole him sneaking past the guards and not being recognized when he's some super villain, it just threw me off.
Yeah, it's a little far-fetched, but the way they describe it, and this is all I ask for when they film something, right, is that the way Bucky was telling the story is like, there's when 2 guards fight, 4 guards have to react, right? And when 4 guards react, that clears that area. That's how he got out of there. And then he said, and then so happens that the fire alarm pulled, and then the protocols say that they have to they have to evacuate and hold everyone so there's like chaos going on. So I 100% agree with you. It's a kind of a cop out, but at the same time, at least they wrote it in the thing and broke it down for you of like why and how it's plausible how he escaped because of the procedures they have to go through, as this type of stuff happens. So
it was very Ocean's 11's like. I did like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit. So then Zemo meets them at his in this garage, right? And he's in, and these are his father's, or family, I should say, his family's cars. These are his collections. He goes and looks in the back of one, and he finds his duffel bag and his mask that just happened to be just sitting there the entire time. No one, it's almost like they knew he was showing up and they placed it there for him to look into, because he like specifically went there. And I guess because I guess he could have made a phone call ahead of time. To his butler, right, to drop it off there, because he did seem like it was put there very, I don't know. There's like no dust. Obviously, it's a car collector place, so they probably wipe it down a lot. But it was sort of like Krebsy was saying, it's kind of a cop out. It was kind of there, but so he talks to them at the garage and then says, this is my private collection. Then Zemo takes them to a private jet on the airfield, right? And all this time he says, "You've been rich," and Sam. Baron, he says, "I am a baron. My family was royalty until your friends destroyed my country," which, says Zemo, and he greets Nicholas. I don't know how to pronounce his butler's name. It's Oznik, I think it's the way it's pronounced. And it's his aged butler. And on the flight, Zemo, basically, his butler and him, he gives him a champagne. And he sniffs it and says, it's fine, and the food, give it the smell test and then give it to them, right, in his native language, and basically saying, look, I really don't like these guys, but let's be hospitable to them by giving them the bad food that's on the plane, right? So I thought that was pretty funny. So as Zemo and them are on the plane, he says, "You know what I like?" And he opens up the book and he starts reading, and he tells Bucky, he likes this list, and he asks about the first name on the list, which is Naka. I forget how to say the guy's name. It was like Naka. It was not Nakajima or whatever, but it was the Chinese guy or the Japanese guy.
Like the father.
The father. Yeah, and Bucky gets triggered there, right? And here's the perfect example, right? You see how much force that Bucky jumped up and grabbed Zemo, right? And he didn't even get spit in the face of, right? And you could tell like he's scared of him because he's got the serum. He's power. He's the Winter Soldier, right? Like there's power behind him, and that's why Zemo's kind of like off, like, whoa, okay, well, I hit this button a little bit. Where John Walker didn't have that same type of Nakajima. Thank you very much, human. He didn't feel that way when John Walker did that to the German guy. You know what I mean? So, as he's like, what's the meaning behind the list? And the man banter about the greatness of Marvin Gaye, right? And Troubled Man. Zemo and Sam are fans. Bucky Barnes is like, I like the music. I like 40s music. Zemo warns him about the people like Steve who become symbols, and then the flaws are forgotten. And he tells him, which is a callback to Winter Soldier, what he says to Steve, right? he says to him that, I don't like people like you because, you're like a symbol and then you have flaws. And Steve Rogers' whole mentality was he wasn't perfect and he did have flaws, but that's what made him who he was, right? So they go back and forth. Here's another moment this episode 3, where Zemo kind of takes a crack at the black people, right? And even Sam says something. He goes, he's out of line, but he's not wrong, right? But he has a point, right? This is the 3rd episode in a row now. They make it a race thing for a smaller, and this was the least amount of it at all. But that was like the only point out there, right? Zemo was just
30. I will say this though, that's something I can easily catch you. But then there's also the sleight of hand Marvel can do and say, nah, we weren't referring to that. We were referring to the time they were all captured and Captain America had to go save them at the end of Civil War.
But it's just a little jab, right? It's just a little jab that they put in there. I want to point it out because they have done it for the last 3 episodes, right? They keep trying to at least doing something with it. So they're traveling to Madripoor, right? They're traveling to Madripoor, and when they get there, they had this scene which I thought was really weird. They got like dropped off and they're walking across a bridge all dressed up, and then meet a car halfway across the thing to get them the other halfway across the bridge. And then they once they cross the bridge, they're met there with a bunch of motorcycles, escorted by motorcycles. And Sam is supposed to be dressed up as was it Smiling Tiger? I don't know much about that. I don't know if you guys do. I know Wolvie probably would have known something about him. I don't know much about the Smiling Tiger.
The Smiling Tiger is a villain from I don't know what comic. I think he's kind of Wolverine in Madripoor.
Okay, so is he like I guess to me he's not a well-known villain, but he is
he from Wolverine's Rogue Gallery then?
I have no answer for you.
I only did research on this like 10 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, so I know Wolverine would probably know, but I don't know that. Maybe chat, maybe human, maybe if you know. Do you know if Smiling Tiger is a big role? I honestly don't know myself. But Zemo tells them, look, this is a high town, low town, and they must stay in character at all times, right? So they're meeting someone. Satan's the escort by they're escorted by motorcycles in the rain, right? They get to Madripoor, and then they're there to see, and they're asking, this is Smiling Tiger, and he asks them for the usual at the bar. The bartender asks him, and then all of a sudden he takes that bartender knows something's up. He's looking at Smiling Tiger. He's like, this dude's not the guy. He's like, all right, well, do you want the usual? And he's like, yeah, I'll take the usual. And he takes a snake out and cuts it open. And was it the liver or the heart of the snake that they were putting in there? I'm not sure what part of the snake it was. I'm gonna. I don't
know what either, but it was gross. I'm like, is that like an egg inside the snake? I don't know.
It was definitely a body part of the snake. I don't think it was like Maybe it was like the birth sac or something of the babies. I have no idea. I was like, man, that's gross.
Well, I would have said, like, nah, I want something different. You make up your, I don't know, but that's like, man, it's like the man could have gave him the drink and be like, I'm just messing with you. That ain't your normal.
Right.
Why don't you know that?
Well, what I thought was funny about this, like, it almost came across the way Sam was acting. For a second, I thought I was watching like Will Smith or Martin Lawrence trying to take that drink for a second. The way he was just like, and he was like giving like thumbs up and he was doing stuff. And meanwhile, I would have liked a line from Zemo or a line from Bucky at that moment as he had to drink it. But I get it. They had to stay in character. So the way he was supposed to be serious, but Sam wasn't being serious at that moment. He was being like scared and nervous, and he's like, but he completely, if he was trying to be this guy Smiling Tiger, I doubt Smiling Tiger does that every time he drinks the usual. Do you know what I mean? So it was a little weird, but I love how Zemo was just like, cheers, and he's like, he drank his normal drink, and he had to take this snake sacks and drink it with the thing. So even the bartender's face was funny when he was drinking it. What were you gonna say, Cosby?
Just to go back to the plane scene a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zemo also had a name drop of the Red Skull. So
Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did.
we don't know, but he could be the power broker.
See, I don't know
I don't know about all that. 'Cause when he would have to leave that planet. That I know theoretically he may not have to guard anymore because the stones there is not there. I can't recall anymore this timeline, but
yeah, I don't know. Zemo asked the bartender to see, is it Selby? I think it's Selby, who was also asked, if he could see. And then all of a sudden, the bartender, cuts up a snake and he challenges one of the power broker's men. And this is where Zemo activates the Winter Soldier, all playing a part here, right? Bucky grabs the power brokers and and starts to beat him up, and the rest of his gang comes and they all start having this brawl out there, which I thought was pretty neat. It was like, make a statement, make a name for yourself there. And they're like, Selby will see them now. And in slow motion, they let up the stairs past the gambling and the weapons. You see that, B-roll of the bar and the crowd and the music that's going on. So then they're put into Selby's room, and Zemo wants to know.
Wait a minute, 30.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sharon there as well?
Sharon was at the bar. Yeah, she was at the bar during the fight, and then when they said good pickup, she was there, and then she put the hood up. She turned around and she put the hood up and she walked away. Then they get brought up to the room.
Also, the Winter Soldier fight was being recorded, and one of Bucky's rules is that he's not allowed to hurt people. So this fight could get him exiled from the U.S.
Oh,
ooh,
that's right. Those people, they showed the people with the cell phones. Yeah, interesting.
That is interesting.
That is very, like, something so minute, which actually might be, so he might lose his. Yeah, that's actually a good pickup there. I didn't even think about that. Good pickup, Krebsy. So when they're in the room, Zemo wants to know the information about the super serum, soldier serum, and his payment with the Winter Soldier and the codes to control him. He tells them that the serum is Madripoor. Dr. Nagel is the man that they want, and then the power broker had him working on the serum, but then things didn't go as planned. So Zemo asked for his location. Suddenly Sam's phone rings. Here's what I don't understand about this, right? I was like, they could have done this in a completely other different way. I would have liked, they ask him a question and then he didn't know it, to blow his cover instead of the phone ringing. Like, this dude is undercover in a third world country, right? And he's got his phone. I know it was on silent, but that's the loudest vibrating sound I've ever heard in my entire life. I was just like, come on. I was like, come on, Sam. Leave your phone off or something. Like, who are you waiting for a phone call from? You're on a mission, right? So, like, worst spy ever at that moment. So then all of a sudden, Sarah calls, his sister calls, and he's about the situation with the bank, and Sam tries to deflect the conversation, and she calls him, like, by his real name, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'll tell that banker, I'll kill him. And then she glances over it, his sister glances over it, because the kids are screaming in the background, so she didn't really, like, hear what he said. And he's on speaker, and then all of a sudden she screams in the background, who's Sam? Is Sam. And then all of a sudden Shelby's like, who's Sam? And this is another thing. They call him, Smiling Tiger. Maybe the Smiling Tiger's real name is Sam. Why would she freak out? Because at that moment I would have been like, yeah, this is my sister, and that's my name. My name is Sam. I'm Smiling Tiger Sam. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was really weird. It was a really quick jump to the gun. Like, she's like, kill him, shoot him right away. And then all of a sudden that sniper bullet came in and took her out, right? Which I'm assuming is Sharon, right? I would assume it was Sharon being the sniper.
Yeah, I would assume that too.
So here's a question, though. If it is her, which it is, and then they're running out of there, and then everyone's already pervy now that they're shooting guns everywhere and everyone's chasing them. How did Sharon get out of that, wherever she was, down the road, down the alley, into the other thing, up to another window to save them when they were running down the street? You know what I mean? Like, does that window she shot at the other guys again, was that the same window she took the shot to kill? That kind of threw me off a little bit. I don't know about you guys. What'd you guys think?
It could be. I wonder if that's going to be like a reveal later where Sharon's like, what do you mean? Someone saved you. That wasn't me. because they did not show her do it. So
Right. It's a shot, just a random shot out the window. You're like, who is that? We saw her down at the bar. We see the shot from wherever. There wasn't even. I have to watch it again. I watched it twice, but I don't even think they established there was a freaking window in that scene to get a shot through it. Anyway, and then she saves him again in the alleyway. What do you think, Krebsy, about this?
I just went with it.
Yeah. It was a cop out at the prison, but not during the assassination scene.
Well, I mean, okay, so she left the bar beforehand, so she could have got a sniper, sat in a adjacent building, booked in. If things went haywire, which it did, she sniped everyone, and then she knows what would happen if she dies, and covers the group's exit.
That's true, human. Sharon didn't actually take credit for killing Shelby. That's very true.
She does have an assistant, so maybe the assistant did it.
She's just, she didn't seem like an assassin type. She seemed like an Uber driver type. It's interesting though, because if that's the case, she doesn't take credit, because she does bring it up. Like she said, didn't she say somewhere in there, human, that you guys killed Shelby or whatever, or got Shelby killed, something along those lines? That is interesting. That might come back. That might come back. There's only 3 episodes left.
I think it's going to be a callback later.
It's obviously Mystique.
Yeah. So Zemo says it seems like you have a guardian angel, and the sniper reveals herself as Sharon Carter. Now, she also is about to kill Zemo when Sam updates her on the situation. And then Sharon has been, out since Winter Soldier, like Captain America, Civil War. Sorry, not Winter Soldier. She didn't even have the Avengers to back her up. Bucky begs her to help, and she's on, a place, and she's like, "Yeah, come with me. I have a place for you to set up." Sam is impressed by where she lives. Now, when she first showed up, I was like, hold up. I was like, something's off here. I was like, Sharon's at the bar, just so happens to be at Shelby's bar for the power broker, right? Now, obviously, Shelby wasn't the power broker, but Sharon's at the bar. Then she happens to be there to save them, when she shoots, and then she brings them to her place. Now, she's a good character when we last saw her, but she's been also where she can't come back to the States, right? So she's on the run, just like they were. She's in this buku, expensive place with real pieces of art and stuff. So it makes me think that she's working for the power broker. I don't want to say she is the power broker, because that just doesn't make sense because of the next move and the next scene. But I think she's working with them, and then there's stuff happening, and it kind of put a wrench in what's happening now, because the way what Sam tells them, I can get you, pardoned and you'll be fine. I think that's a little wrench. What do you guys think about Sharon at this point, Greta? What do you think?
See, the thing I've learned about Sharon, to never underestimate the power of Sharon being a babysitter on behalf of a powerful individual, just like she was babysitting Cap and Winter Soldier. She was just a neighbor across the street, but she was actually more than that.
Right.
So she's a really good support system. So I don't know who would have contacted her, because it's almost like she was there. I kind of feel like she was there to watch over Sam and Bucky, but it's like, how would she know they were there? Everything fell into place, so I do. And then also I'm curious about, I like how well she's living, but she's actually, in some underhand stuff to an extent, to afford that in a place like Madripoor. So she's a very mysterious character, some mystique, some femme fatale added in there. Like I said, she is a lady from Revenge. That's the character she's played in that other show. So she's good at playing roles like that. But I'm intrigued, and I'm looking forward to see. I think there's going to be more reveals done in the next 3 episodes regarding Sharon as to who shot the people in the building, who really saved Bucky and Sam. And there's also a conversation. I'm jumping ahead, but there's a conversation at the very end that she has with her Uber driver that makes me think there's a little bit more to her than meets the eye.
Right. Krusty, what do you think of Sharon and where she's put up and stuff?
I think that she is an ally with the power broker,
Okay.
but we don't know yet who the power broker is. I have a couple theories who the power broker is, but I'll save it for later.
Do you think so? You don't think Sharon's the power broker, correct?
No, she's not the power broker.
But she's working angles there. Do you think because in the scene where she says I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but she has a phone or pager that looks pretty similar to the one that Nick Fury used to use, right? So do you think that she's working two sides? Do you think she's there because of Nick Fury and she's working for the power broker because she's under double agent?
I would definitely say that. Like I said, I mean, the one person I know that she's definitely cool with working undercover for is Nick Fury, and she's good at that. You think her angle is what you see, but there's really something else that's revealed much later on behalf of Nick Fury. So
that is one question I had. Like, if Carter is an outcast, why wouldn't Steve help Carter when like during the snap? Like, he's in exile too, and I don't think that he would allow Carter to just go out and face the world by herself.
That's true.
Well,
I think he would have thought to go back and find her too, because I'm sure he had to keep some kind of tabs on her. I know he was depressed about what happened in between Infinity War and Endgame, but yeah.
Well, it could be as simple as he didn't know she was alive, right? And it could have been easy as that she didn't contact him because the Avengers went silent for those 5 years, right? So there was no Avengers that 5 years. They weren't fighting crime or anything, right? So they were just, so she didn't contact him.
Yeah, but she did give Sam and Cap the shield and the wings during Civil War. So he must have known that in some way that was a bad action, that she would be reprimanded for it.
Correct. No, absolutely. What you're saying, I think, is 100% correct. But I think once the blip happened, I think kind of everything kind of went out the window because you don't know who's alive or who's dead. And
that's true.
Gotcha.
You can't just go out and contact someone that's being hunted down by your country. You know what I mean? So
also, I want to ask: is it confirmed? I can't recall if it's confirmed whether or not Sharon was alive and not blipped.
She wasn't blipped.
Okay.
She wasn't, because Human says we know she got snapped.
There is no way she could have got snapped in the time frame that she was in Madripoor. How would she be able to, in like 7 months, set up an entire house, get all those artifacts in her house, and have knowledge of the entire workings of the city?
She's an undercover operative for Nick Fury. She could.
But I mean, it is possible. Here's
I feel what you're saying, Krebs.
I do too. I feel like, even though they've never said Nick Fury yet, with Batroc in the very beginning of the series in episode 1, like, he's doing something, and we know Nick Fury hired him before. Okay, and then Sharon has that pager / cell phone, whatever, that looks like the same thing that Nick Fury. I feel like Nick Fury is kind of still pulling the strings a little bit behind the scenes here. To move some stuff here. She was called missing on one of the screens in Endgame.
Is it real Nick Fury or Skrull?
No, I think
it's real Nick Fury. Yeah,
because even if it is Skrull Nick Fury, is getting his orders from the real Nick Fury.
He's still getting orders from the real Nick Fury. So regardless, it's real Nick Fury. Yeah. It's 7 degrees to Nick Fury, and it's 2 degrees to him. I don't know. Yeah. So I do believe that Nick Fury is something here. All right, so they show this little B-roll scene of Zemo drinking and dancing, and Sam and Bucky at the club and stuff. And then Sharon finds Nagel's location. She leads them onto a container dock, and then serves as a lookout, which I thought was weird. Right? One, she tells them what location there are, but then doesn't tell them how. She's like, "Yeah, this is the location. This is it." Right? And then they walk in. And she's like, I'll watch. I'll stay out," which is kind of weird. So I don't want to say it was like a setup Because if it was a setup, why would she just murder those people? Like, yeah, hey, send me 10 of your best guys so I can murder them. You know what I mean? Like, because that turns into something completely different. She's not defending herself. She's literally just a serial killer at that moment. And I don't believe that's the case, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So they send him to this container, and then obviously I knew where the door was within 3 seconds. They opened it. I was like, oh, that's a push wall right there. And Zemo finds it and then opens it up, and they walk up into this container, which is, I have to say, that's where I want my next house to be. Like, I want to be living in a containers like that, like hidden away where no one knows that I live there. So opens it up, goes up into the lab, and then they start to see Nagel like making stuff in the serum or whatever, right? So Zemo, Sam, and Bucky enter Nigel's laboratory and listens to the record. Zemo stops the player. Was it Zemo that stops the player? I thought it was Sam that stops the.
It was Zemo.
It was Zemo.
Okay.
Sam confronts Nigel, right, and then he recognizes Bucky, right, and then they make me a better offer. He says, pretty ballsy for a scientist, right? And then Sharon's radio then says that, we have company. And then Sharon takes out 3 men. This fight scene was really good. The choreograph of the fight scene I thought was pretty good. It showed, you were talking about this a little bit before the show started, Gritter was. I like the fight scene because it showed her like kicking ass. And then it also showed her where it became like real, right? Where all of a sudden she got picked up, slammed up against the container, and then she was fighting, and then she had to fight dirty, basically, right? Like before she was like fighting, but then she was like taking the knife, throwing the knife, doing a bunch of stuff like that. I like the whole fight scene. What did you guys think of this container scene, the talk, and then also the fight scene with Sharon going on? Let me go with Krebsy first.
Gritter, go. I need to compile my thoughts.
All right.
Okay. I loved all of it, man. Like I told you, I've been waiting on Sharon Carter to get in this episode, and she delivered, man. I really do not feel like she needed vindication showing why she's such a good fighter, such a good agent. But I feel like they went out their way, whether you want to say she gets credit for saving Bucky and Sam or not, but just even adding this little fight, this montage of her surviving on her own. But she's, like I said, like I told you, 30, she wasn't like a stick-figured woman, like a 2-pound woman throwing around 300-pound men. She was getting hurt. Not that I advocate for women getting hurt, no, but I'm just saying they made it very grounded and showing how realistic, as realistic as they could, how a person of her size and stature could overcome odds like she was facing. And then we cut to the dialogue or the back and forth of the dialogue between Zemo and Sam and Bucky and I can't remember the name of the scientist, but the scientist and just Zemo. I mean, just thinking back at it, he was not pleased to know that that scientist. I mean, he just wasn't pleased at him at all.
Well, right, because he said there was 20 serums, and we know that 8 of them have been taken, so there's 12 left, right? He said that there was 20. He said, how many serums did you make? He said 20. And then we know there was 8, and then 1 died. So there's 7 out there that are living, right? That one flag smasher died by getting shot up at the airport in episode 2, or was that episode 1? I forget. Episode 2. Right. And then that means there's 12 serums left. And then on top of that, the way they were filming and showing all the serums inside the actual Nagel's laboratory, we don't know if somebody took something. You know what I mean? We don't know if Bucky, Zemo, I don't know why Zemo would take one, because he doesn't want the serum. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want anyone to have it, and I think that's why he shot Nagel, because he didn't want him reproducing anything anymore. Fuzzy in chat says that he thinks that Zemo's, something's between Zemo and the scientist. I don't think so, Fuzzy. I think he was just shooting him and killed him, not because he was talking or telling too much. He got the information that he needed. He said he made 20 serums, and he just wants to stop the person that he said he called himself a god, right? He's like, I was a god. I created the perfect serum.
That was definitely triggering for Zemo, yeah.
Zemo wants to stop the production of the super soldier serum so that he doesn't get more Captain Americas in the world.
Right. Yeah. So that's why I think he just shot him cold blood. He was just like, all right, great. You told us he had 20 vials, and Carly, stole them. So now Zemo wants to, meet up with Carly and talk to them. Obviously, talking meaning he wants to kill him, right? Because he doesn't.
Yeah. He wants to find him other vials. All right, so this is a good callback, 30, to me also agreeing that Walker does not have serum in him yet, but he's going to probably get it before the end of this season.
Oh yeah, and what I think's going to happen, I think Zemo or the Power Broker, something's going to happen. Now I know Zemo doesn't want any more super soldiers, right? But maybe one of the serums that he grabbed, if Zemo did grab one, maybe something along the lines of giving it to Walker, or one of the undeveloped serums Walker finds and takes to get him that edge, right? Because right now he's just a regular guy. He wants to be right now he's struggling, right? He's just a guy in a Captain America suit, and he wants to be respected, and he's not getting respect, right? So he's gonna get in his own hands. I know, Krusty, you said that he gets a bone broke or something, right? So that would be a reason to take the serum so he heals, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So what did you think of this science scene, Krebsy? This whole container scene.
The Carter scene, when she's fighting, looked a lot like Black Widow. I hope she becomes like Black Widow 2.0. I would like that. And then when the scientist was talking, he said that he worked with Hydra to make the serum, but when Hydra disbanded,
he got blipped, and when he came back, they were gone, right?
Yeah, he got recruited by the CIA, and I think that the recruiter was Ross, and he used the blood of Isaiah, who was the man in episode 2, and then he went to Madripoor because he, like you said, got blipped and wanted to continue his research. But we know that Carly is from Madripoor from later on in the episode. Carter lives in the same place as Carly, and I think that Carly was told by Carter to go into the lab, steal the serum under orders of Ross.
Okay, so you're saying that the Flag Smashers, Sharon, and the Power Broker are all together?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, say that one more time. I'm trying to follow down the rabbit hole with you now here. Go ahead, say it one more time. Connect me again.
Carly and Carter live in the same area.
Right.
We learn this later on in the episode. Carter gets orders from Ross, who is the Power Broker.
Okay.
Carter is told to have Carly go to the lab and steal the vials.
Okay.
We don't know why she needs to, but she is asked. And I think that it's to warrant the expansion of the super soldier production, to have more people who can counter the Avengers and keep them in line, to empower the Sokovia Accords.
Okay.
That Roth created.
All right. Well, I have a question then. Who texted Carly to say, you have my things, and I'm coming for you? That would have to be the Power Broker, wouldn't it?
No, because in the episode we know that that the scientist confirmed that Carly is the one. No, that he is the one Carly texted.
No, that's not confirmed in any way, shape, or form.
In the episode, he said.
She said that Carly stole it. That's all he said.
I could have swore that he said that he texted Carly saying, like, "You stole my property."
I don't think Nagel would find and threaten her with stuff. That sounds like a power. That's got her number and found out and then texted her. I think I'm going to poke a hole there. I'm just poking a hole in your theory. I just don't think that the Power Broker and Carly are working on the same side. I think that they were part of some sort of assignment, and then they took the stuff, and then she stole the rest of it for their own because they don't want to see what happened again, what happened to Sokovia and what happened to the blip and what happened to all the stuff. She's looking to be her own. I don't know if the power broker. Chat, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Krebs's coming around to something? Because I like everything I'm hearing except that text. I don't think came from Nagel. I think that text came from the power broker, and we still don't know who that power broker is. And again, if it is the power broker, let's just say Ross is the power broker. Does it sound like Ross would threaten someone like that through a text message? Or does it sound like somebody else would text, you think the texter is a new Cap? Oh, you're going down a different hole, Fuzzy. Homie has a Homelander vibe. Yeah, he does. He does. You think that he has somebody up somewhere with big deep pockets definitely found the number with like government agent, some sort of agency, some sort of favor to get the number to text her, because it just seems weird. I don't know. I like where you're going, Krebsy. I think there's just that one little hole there, because I don't think Nagel's the one that texted her. I don't know. So let's continue from here. We got from where am I here? I lost my notes here. Okay, so Sharon, Bucky, and them escape the container under a hail of bullets. They're pinned down. Zemo appears above them and does this like, I'm back, baby type of moment. He just takes the gun, shoots the pipe, blows up the guys, rolls down, starts to do. I almost felt what type of when he was doing the scene, I was like, I felt like he was somebody, and I can't remember. I just felt like he was like Batman for some reason. I don't know, like the way he was like jumped down, did all the maneuvers, and started like kicking ass. I like it because Zemo's just a regular guy. He's just he's a skilled. I don't want to say assassin, but he can hold his own, right? Like he's had training and stuff like that. So I do like that whole sequence that he did, and then he runs off. They think he's escaped, and that's two things. The way they're filming it, they're showing the audience that he might be escaping right now, right? And then they're showing that Sam and Buck, you're like, where's Zemo? Oh my God, he's gone. So you're thinking that he took something, he's escaping, he's doing his own thing, but no, he comes back with a car, with the muscle car, and then zooms up and pulls up and picks them up. I like the little scene that they did where Buck gets in the front and Sam gets behind him, and he says, "You're not going to move your seat up," and it's a callback to was it Winter Soldier? I think it was Winter Soldier, where he's like, "Are you going to move up?" And he's like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." You can't hear me. Awesome. Okay. I don't know. Let me take you guys out of disconnect. Put yourselves back into supporter voice 1, and I'll pull you back in. I was gonna say, because when I asked the question, you guys kind of went. I don't know why I can't hear you guys. Here, I'll disconnect from there.
Hello?
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good.
All right. So what was when I was saying, and you guys didn't answer me, I was like, oh, I'll move on then. You guys couldn't hear me. So what was the did you have a rebuttal or anything, Krebsy, about that section where I was like poking a hole in there?
I didn't hear anything that you said about the rebuttal.
Oh, okay. So what I said was the whole thing about the cell phone. I don't think Nagel is the one that texted him. I think it had to be the power broker. And did you hear the power broker when I said is the power broker? If the power broker is Ross, do you think Ross would actually text something like that, or do you think it has to be some other like scumbag that we don't know about yet?
I think that it could be multiple people. The power broker could be Ross. It could be Stryker. But I'm going to drop a little grenade on the field and say that Feige, once Keanu Reeves in the MCU, hear me out.
Go ahead.
I think that he could play the power broker, and it's also written by the person that made John Wick. It somewhat fits. The two worlds could collide.
I like that Krebsy comes in here and he doesn't toss
That's
a
a good
firecracker. He throws grenades. Like he's like, Keanu Reeves coming in as the power broker.
There's more than
Go ahead.
atom bombs.
Yeah, go ahead, Gritter. What do you
I was
think?
about to say Krebs. Now I was going to say Krebs does more than throw grenades. He drops atom bombs. I'm like, man, that's a good one, man. Like that. I would love to see Keanu Reeves appear. That would be a good Keanu Reeves moment. Pun intended. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea who. I think I'm not going to go on a limb and say Kevin Feige wants us now having water cooler talk about who's a power broker like we did stuff
Yeah,
in
no.
WandaVision, but
Yeah.
but it is something. I don't know if his identity was ever hardly defined in the comic book. If it was, then I guess we could research what it is. If it was always left ambiguous, like Kaiser Soze, then at this point anybody could be the power broker.
I don't think we know who the power broker is. I don't think it's anyone that is main. I think it's a new person.
In the comics, there is a person that goes by the alias of Power Broker. His name is Curtis Jackson, and that's the name that 50 Cent uses. So
that's funny.
I don't know if it's actually going to be him.
So you think it's going to be 50 Cent? You think 50 Cent's going to be the power broker?
In the comics, it's him. So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, 50 Cent's real name is Curtis Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be playing Curtis Jackson, the power broker.
Yeah. That would be cool if he did. But, I could see him playing that role and eating it up too. But, yeah.
I mean, look, I'm all for it. I don't know. I just think that the person I don't think it's Ross. I don't think it's someone we know. I think it's going to be a new person, a new actor, someone that's going to be established as the power broker. I don't think it's, I just don't see Ross, right? Let's just picture this for a second, right? Someone steals something from Ross and then Ross picks up a phone and it's like, give it. Like, we know what Ross is, right? So I don't see him picking up a phone going, all right, I want you to text this for me. I know who you are. Hey, you took my stuff. I'm going to kill you. Like, I don't see Ross like threatening somebody like that, right?
Or
yeah,
Ross is making a deal with Carter so that if she helps make the super soldier serum, she gets immunity in America.
Yeah, he would cut a deal like that.
Yeah.
But I picture Ross more of a pick up the phone and threaten someone so you can hear his voice kind of guy, though.
Right. Like he wouldn't text. He would pick up that phone and be like, look, we're right outside with the tank. I know where you are. Right? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of person Ross is. Why
would they do that, though? That would spoil who the power broker is.
I know, but then why send a text? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like, first of all, we all thought it was Zemo for the text, right? Can we just all admit that we all thought it was Zemo when it first happened? We're like, oh, maybe it's Zemo. And then I
kind of thought that too, yeah.
Right? And then we saw Zemo and we're like, oh, well, he's still in prison, so we can't do that. And then, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't think it's Sharon, but I do think Sharon's working for the power broker. I like the theory that Ross could be the power broker, but I just don't see him texting Carly like that.
Okay, so let's raise some stakes here then. Let's put not a wager, but let's bet. I guess anyway. For one, I think that power broker is going to be revealed before the end of the season. And also, which episode do y'all think the reveal is going to be? You think it's going to be episode 4, 5, or 6, if it happens?
Power broker is going to be, I think, at the end of this episode. I think we're going to find out end of episode 4. Yeah, it'll be in episode 4, but I think it'll be at the end of episode 4.
It depends if
episode 5.
Depends if there's more seasons.
You think they'll drag Power Broker's existence out?
He could be the main antagonist of season 2.
True. I still think they're gonna. I think this is a self-contained season right now, like the story plot anyway.
If they do that, then Krebs, I predict that it will be like at the very going into end credits, at the end of the last episode of the season, where it's like a cliffhanger.
harping back to like what Wolverine said last week, the connection to Black Widow and Taskmaster, something's there.
Well, it could be Taskmaster as the power broker. Again, though, I'm gonna call that it's not Taskmaster, because if it is Taskmaster, then whatever happens in Black Widow with Taskmaster, there's no stakes whatsoever. Right now, there's no stakes for Black Widow because we already know her outcome of her, right?
Wasn't Black Widow supposed to come out before this?
Correct, but this also wasn't filmed yet when Black Widow was, right? So they could have changed whatever. All I'm saying is, if they show Taskmaster in this show, then you're like, oh well, Taskmaster lives in or escapes or does whatever in Black Widow.
I want to make a prediction now too. I predict that unless it's been hardcore confirmed and Crazy can throw another atom bomb or grenade on this, I predict that what's his name? The villain of I can't remember his name. The villain of Black Widow. I don't think he's gonna make it out of that movie.
Taskmaster.
I don't think Taskmaster's gonna make it out of there unless it's been hard confirmed that he does walk away.
He's
already
too essential to the Thunderbolts.
Yeah, well, no one dies. Look, I don't even think Black Widow's dead. All right.
Yeah, true. She could come back. That could be the Black Widow moment. We're waiting for one of these TV shows.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see there. Go ahead, Krubsy. What are you gonna say?
Chat, please don't be afraid to call in.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions for us, you can call in. Come to our Discord. Head over to SNTR and then go over to support voice 1, and I'll bring you into the actual show. And you can ask if you don't want to be on the voice chat, you can also just ask away inside the channel itself. And make sure you guys hit that like button if you're enjoying the content here and the conversations. Make sure you hit that like button. All right, so let's continue here. Right, so they escape, they get in the car, and then all of a sudden, Sam and Bucky jump in the car and they drive away. Right, Sharon is met by a car by her assistant. Okay. And she says, we have a problem. We have a big problem, or a couple of problems, I think she says, right? She says, we have a problem. Well, we have a couple of problems, right?
Yeah.
And let's go. And she gets in the car. One of the problems is, I think it's Sam and Bucky. 2, I think another problem is Zemo. 3, another problem is that Shelby died. And 4, now the scientist is dead, right? So there's a couple of problems, right? There's a couple of problems, and that's why I think that Sharon is someone working with the power broker, because she gave them, right? Because the situation changed, right? Sam said, "Look, if you help us out, I can get you pardon." And she's like, "Okay." So she finds where the scientist is, and then sets them up to get there because she knows where he is. Okay. And then the other people found them because they were there, and that I don't think that was set up. I think the fight scene and stuff, I think that was happening. But now, because she wants to get pardoned, and the problem is that Sam and Bucky are muddying the water a little bit, right? And now Zemo's in the picture, so she's got to kind of play both sides now. Where before she was just undercover in my head. She's working for Nick Fury and she's working for Power Broker, and now Sam says she can get her pardon, and now she wants to work with them, but now there's some issues there. What do you guys think about this scenario here?
I definitely like I said, I definitely think she's working for someone, especially at the last time we see her, she's speaking to her limo driver, her driver. That lets me know the driver has some awareness of any backhand deals she has as well too. I just think that I'm just looking forward to seeing that. I predict that will probably be revealed either probably by episode 5 at the latest. We're gonna know if she's working. I think she's working for someone who she's working for.
Okay, Krebsy.
I think that the power broker is Ross, and that she's working with them. The death of the scientist ruined her chances of getting a pardon from the U.S.
Oh, I'm also throwing this grenade out there. Let me throw a grenade of my own.
All right, go ahead.
What do the both of you think that the small chance she could also be working on behalf of Wakanda for some reason?
Sharon?
Yeah.
No, I don't see that at all.
Okay.
Yeah, personally, I don't see that at all. Human,
She has no reason to.
are you
That's
asking?
true.
I don't think Fury is the power broker. If that's what you're asking, I don't think he's the power broker. I think he's working,
Oh no, he's not.
and she's undercover. She's working for Fury, okay, but she's undercover, and then also like a double agent, basically, right? She's working for Sword, but she's also working for the power broker in Madripoor, because she's trying to find out stuff and figure out things that's going on there. And yet Nick Fury is also hired. I don't know. I just feel like Nick Fury's behind certain things here, because one, Bad Truck in the beginning of the episode of the series, like, what was that whole deal there? Like, it just right? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, like, why he's trying to steal that guy and bring him across the border for that whole thing. And then now Sharon's there, and I don't know. I just feel like there's something more behind that whole thing. Krusty, go ahead. What were you going to say about Sharon and working with people or whatever?
Nothing.
Nothing? All right. So now, what's it called? Oh, okay. So now they're out front. Carly's in talks with her colleague about being a mob security in Madripoor. She wanted to be a teacher. They talk about taking the serum and how her veins were on fire, sort of like, when Steve got taken, he was screaming, right, when it was happening. They have the last of the serum, right, and the power broker will come begging. So now they went from being Robin Hood to basically being criminals, right? Even though they're not the criminals, but they are criminals. So Walker and Hoskins review the tapes of Zemo's escape. Walker believes that Sam and Bucky broke him out. On the plane, Sam radios Torres to investigate in the refuge of Danye Madinine, which is, I think, Carly's grandmother. I think it was her mother. And they find out that she died, right? And now, what happened to Sharon and Isaiah Bradley? Okay, he feels guilty about one, not fighting for her, and she's still on the run. And then Isaiah Bradley basically he didn't know about him this entire time, right? So he feels guilty about that. And then Sam says, maybe I made a mistake, right? Maybe I shouldn't have, put it in a museum. Maybe I should have destroyed it, right? And Bucky disagrees. He says the shield means a lot of things to a lot of people, type of thing. Taurus radios back to Sam, and they find that the woman died. She died, and then Zemo orders his butler to change the plane's course. He's looking forward to meeting Carly. So now he's heading towards the destination, right? He knows where they are, so they're gonna see the Flag Smashers. This will be an interesting meetup here with Zemo and the Serum Soldiers, basically, right?
Yeah.
So Carly, they show the Flag Smashers stealing food, even though they even say they make it sound like they're doing, you have 6 months of supplies there, you're not doing anything with it. We're just taking it, right? They're the Robin Hoods of the stuff. And then Carly says to the guy that's with her, put your seatbelt on now. And all of a sudden, boom, the car bomb goes off. It blows up the building next to it. And her colleague's like, what the hell? There's still people inside. And she's like, this is the only language that people understand, right? So basically now she's a terrorist, right? She wasn't a terrorist before. Now she's a terrorist. So
I think this is going to lead to like internal fighting amongst the Flag Smashers.
And then what's the end game there, though? Like just a fallout? No,
like the Carly's friend.
No, I understand what you're saying about them breaking up, but what I'm saying is, what's the bigger picture then? If there's inner turmoil, would it be for a power struggle or them leaving? You know what I mean? Like what's the outcome with 3 episodes left? You know what I'm saying?
I think one thing this definitely does is it stops the audience. It stops us from seeing Carly as a sympathetic character. I was seeing her sympathetic before. Now that's like, nope, not anymore.
Right.
Can't sympathize with you now. And then also, what Krebs is saying, if this does lead to an internal civil war between the Flag Smashers,
right.
It could be left with only one Flag Smasher left standing, who is the definitive Flag Smasher. Instead of it being Flag Smasher, just now the Flag Smasher.
Right.
Just like in the comics.
Becomes like basically the comic book character of Flag Smasher, just one person.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Crimsy. What are you saying?
I agree with Ritter. I can see that, but I think the whole them fighting with each other would lead to like a power struggle amongst the group, because those people didn't sign up to kill people. They signed up to make the world their vision without deaths.
Right. Yeah, but sometimes I think the struggle when people get power, their plans change. You know what I mean? Like if it has to do with all of a sudden you win a lot of money and you're powerful in money, or you get promoted and you become powerful and you become power hungry. And I believe that's what Carly is doing, right? Like she says all she wanted to do was be a school teacher, and now she went from being a school teacher to blowing up, making a car bomb and killing 20 people in a building, right? So
she could be moody after losing her mother.
Oh, absolutely, but doesn't justify it as being
it doesn't.
Yeah. So then Zemo, Sam, and Bucky are walking down the streets. He actually says to them, which I thought was interesting. He's like, Zemo says to Sam and Bucky, "Did you even go visit the Sokovia Memorial?" Right? And then he says, "I didn't think so," and he kind of like walks away, and they cut to the next little shot of Bucky tells them, I'll see you in a minute. I gotta go somewhere. And they're like, "All right, you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." He picks up one of those beads off the ground and then sees another one as he walks away. He then grabs another one, goes around the corner, and then Bucky comes face to face with is it Ayo? I think that's how you pronounce it. Ayo? It's Ayo, right? Ayo?
Ayo.
Yeah. From Wakanda, right? Now obviously she's there because she wants Zemo, right? Zemo killed their king, and she wants justice for that. What did you think of it? What did you think of that end scene, and where do you think this leads to now with Wakanda and maybe even Black Panther too?
Aside from, it's kind of hard with Black Panther too, because I feel I've heard somewhat of what their plans are with Black Panther 2, but I still don't know definitively how they're going to resolve, the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. But as far as this series goes, I wanted to see this. I think I'm glad they did this when they did it, because I know a lot of people would have been saying, "Now wait a minute, we know Wakanda is going to catch news that Zemo broke out." And if anyone's going to, because even Sam brought it up, he said, "Do you think Wakanda forgot?" And sure enough, at the end of the episode, it's like, no, they sure did not forget, because they showed up looking for Zemo. And I liked how I think it would make sense that if anyone was to notice their methods of doing things, it would be Bucky, because he lived over there in Wakanda. So, yeah.
Krause, what do you think?
I have no clue what's going to happen with the whole Wakanda thing. I think this is just a setup for Black Panther 2, and that Bucky might appear in Black Panther 2.
But what do you guys think though? Like they're not just going to show. They're not going to introduce her to have nothing to do with Zemo. You know what I mean? Like she's there. She's there to get Zemo.
Yeah, I think. She's not. I don't think she's going to even care about, even if the reason is just. She's going to be like, he has to be taken back in, or I'm going to drag him back in, or something. She's not just going to let him roam free. The only way she would allow someone, the only way someone from Wakanda would ever allow him to roam free is if Black Panther himself, gave the permission to say, "Okay, I'll let him do his thing for Bucky and Sam." But we having an understanding he's going to be taken back in, and we'll be the one. But that's not what happened here. So I do think next episode, I don't want to predict. I almost want to predict there will be a fighter struggle, but I don't think Bucky's going to need to. I don't feel like she's going to need to feel like she needs to fight Bucky to get his Zemo, because I think there's that mutual respect between the two of them. But at the same time, I think Zemo, I'm just more interested in seeing what happens, because I do think there is going to be probably next episode an encounter where she is standing across from Zemo. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that, because I don't know. I know somehow Zemo has to continue helping them. I don't think he's going to be taken back at the end of next episode. That could be a possibility. Maybe his story in this show wraps up, but I don't think I don't know. I can see him going up until episode 6. So it like again, the only thing I'm really anxious about and don't quite know is how Zemo is going to escape her wrath, because I do feel like regardless of whether there's a fight, struggle, whatever, she is going to be staying across from him, and it's going to be go time.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know where they're gonna go with this, because I have like one thought process I had was they're setting up something so they can save how they're going to do the direction of Black Panther 2, right? Because Chadwick did die in real life.
That's true. Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so what are they doing? Are they doing this as a setup to maybe, as Sean's bringing up in the thing, as White Wolf? Do you think that they bring Bucky into Black Panther 2 to be the main character in that because of what happened to Black Panther? Because they said they weren't going to use Chadwick in any way, shape, or form, like his likeness, right? So, but doesn't mean they can't use Black Panther. Now, Black Panther's Black Panther when he has that mask on. Anyone could be in it. It's CGI, right? So you're not showing his actual face. And then obviously his sister can become Black Panther as well. Now, I don't know if this whole thing right here, like they want Zemo, and then maybe Bucky says something along the lines, and again, this is me speculating and have no idea. I'm just kind of putting stuff together as I watched it, and I was like, well, maybe he says, look, if you don't get Zemo, I'll come back or something. You know what I mean? Like he offers himself back there. I don't know, something along the lines, because he owes a lot to Wakanda, right? Because Bucky is not Winter Soldier because of them. Right, they got that out of his brain and stuff. So
I do think that now that we bring this up, they may not have even really needed this show to do this, but I just with the end of Black Panther, when Bucky showed up, he's definitely going to be in there. I think it's not crazy to say he's going to be in Black Panther 2. If they did film this early enough or at a time frame after Chadwick had passed away, then I can definitely see that them using this as a way to help explain what their plans are for Black Panther 2, or to tie it in. Because even if this has nothing to do with Black Panther 2, you have to have this in there, because as it's crazy to think Zemo's going to be running around without Wakanda showing up. But hey, we're going to
right.
Yeah, this is perfect. It's perfect. It would be out of characteristic of the MCU and Wakanda for them not to show up like this at the end of the episode. So I do think his freedom is going, whether he gets, I still think he's going to be free to roam around, but whether his freedom's taking them back to jail, or he's losing to go back to jail, whatever, I think that's going to be resolved by next episode. I don't think she's going to be chasing him episode 5 and 6 as well.
Right. Do you, real quick before Cozy goes, do you think they want Zemo dead, or do you think they just want him in prison in Wakanda?
I think they would. Of course, they want him, dead, but I think they will settle for taking him back to prison. But they are so hoping he resists that kind of thing.
All right, Cozy,
I want to take it back to jail, but please resist.
What's your thoughts on this end scene? I know you said you don't know what's going to happen, but what do you think about the maybe Bucky, being a part of Black Panther 2 or whatnot?
What if Bucky tries to protect Zemo, saying that they're working together? Wakanda is friends or knows the history of Bucky, so they understand. At the end, Bucky goes to Wakanda to carry out his sentence. Bucky becomes enemy of state with the United States.
Right.
Goes and lives in Wakanda to keep an eye on Zemo and to lay low for a little bit. In a future movie, he comes back, digs up dirt on Ross, and gets pardoned for uncovering the super soldier project that is growing under the noses of the government.
I'll take a buddy cop movie of Zemo and Bucky. I'll take a the Wakanda Adventures of Zemo and Bucky, right? The Wakanda edition. Yeah, the Wakanda edition. I like it. I mean, there's a lot of ways they can go with it. Fuzzy in chat says there's a confirmation in an interview. Episode 5 is really going to make people emotional. I know they don't use his likeness, but it's probably film scenes for this filming start. I mean, I think it would be, and I mean this in the most respected way, I think it would be a cop out if they reference Black Panther and kill him off screen in this, and just give you a statement like, oh, in other news, the King of Wakanda, the new King of Wakanda, like died in a plane crash or something. You know what I mean? Like if they do something along those lines, Fuzzy, I think that's a cop out. I think they could do it in a way in Black Panther 2. Like let it breathe a bit, right? I know he died last year. What was it, in November? Was it November when he passed? Like late October, November. Like let it breathe. Come up with a good script. Come up with something good. Use him in Black Panther 2. When I mean use him as Black Panther, and then something happens to Black Panther in the movie, and then like honor him in that movie. I hope they don't do something along the lines here and just like in passing, sort of like a write-off, like in Destiny with Sagira with the Osiris, like off screen type of thing. And you're like, I don't want that. I definitely don't want that for especially what Black Panther means to so many people. I think that would be a cop out personally if they did something like that. So
I think that I don't know how they're gonna resolve Chadwick's passing, but they did start to refilm a couple of the scenes in this. Like the scientist scene had a reference to like an infectious disease, and they didn't want to put that in the public given what's going on in the world.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Fuzzy says, "Oh no, he wasn't saying that they were going to lose. He was saying that Black Panther was being filmed and he could show up. Like they filmed it before he passed, so Black Panther Chadwick could show up as a cameo in this. Now that would be something better, right? That would be something completely different, Fuzzy. If they show him there and it's like the last time you see him, then 100% that works. I thought you were alluding to because it was emotional. I thought you were saying it's emotional in the thing because someone in the show's dying, but you're saying it's emotional because you're going to see him on film. I got you. Sorry, Cruzy, go ahead.
And I also think that Shuri will become Queen and Winston Duke, I don't know what his Black Panther character is called.
M'Baku?
Yeah, M'Baku will become the Black Panther. Because Black Panther doesn't mean king. It means it's
a title. Yeah,
it's a title. Yeah. That'd be interesting if they. No, I was just saying that would be interesting if they do it that way. Go ahead.
I do know because I did collect some Black Panther comics. I do know that she at one point she was Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think. Yes. Now I don't think. Now this is no discredit to Letitia Wright. I think that's the name of the actress who plays Shuri. No discredit to her or the character in MCU, but I think if she does become Black Panther, it's going to be like you say more. Like you would put it, 30 more time to breathe or something like that. I think. Like I don't know. I'm not saying it would be wrong for it to happen because it did happen in the comics, but I just don't see that happening in the next movie. Mm-hmm. So I can definitely see M'Baku taking it, or I don't know how they're going to do it, man. But I just don't. It's just, but yeah.
All right, real quick, are you guys in the supporter voice 1? Because there might be someone in supporter voice 1 actually playing a game or doing something. Greg, are you in chat right now? Are you waiting to be brought in for a question? Or Havoc? Are you guys just not even watching the show right now and you guys are just doing your own thing? Let me know. Because I just don't want to pull you in if you're doing something. Because I know in the SNTR network Discord, people use different things for games and whatnot.
I think yesterday Greg was streaming No Man's Sky, so I think they might be doing that.
Yeah, okay.
They're probably doing that because I know some people asked if there was a way to chat with everyone. when we were setting up the planet today, or helping to set it up today. So that could be why they're
Well, I know it's
that's probably
coincidental.
what's
That's why I was
happening.
saying, because I said go into supporter voice 1. I'm gonna have to ask Lona to make another room, because people can't get into the. Maybe I'll make it the on deck waiting room or something like that. Make people
Okay.
pop into that. Yeah. So all right. So let me get your thoughts here on what is your one thing, pick one thing that you think is going to happen next episode, a big moment for you, Gritter, that you would like to see next episode.
The big moment is going to be
Not what you're wishing for, what you actually think is going to happen, what you like, not out of left field, like an actual something that you believe is going to happen next episode.
Ao, is that how you say her name?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be standing across from Zemo, and I can't see what happens past it. I think that's something I predict for next episode. Another thing,
confrontation between those two.
Yeah, confrontation, whether it be verbal or physical. I don't think, of course, he would never last physically against her, but whether verbally, a meeting of a battle of wits, or physically, that's going to happen next episode. Another thing I predict next episode that looking forward to is a conversation, or maybe a verbal or mental face-off against Bucky, Sam, and Zemo versus Carly and the Flag Smashers, because then they go to finally go meet with them or see them in person. So we're gonna have that, and I do think what's his name, Walker, and Battlestar. That's the last person to say that. I do think they're gonna factor in. I think they're going. I would almost think of it like as the standoff, where you have 3 different parties looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have the Falcon Winter Soldier team Falcon Winter Soldier, team Carly Flag Smashers team, right,
and then right, folk Captain. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Standing off at each other like in a pyramid formation, and I don't know if it's gonna cut the credits to go to episode 5, or we're gonna see like a confrontation, but I can see all 3 parties converging next episode. That's what I see happening.
All right, Krebsy, what do you got?
We forgot to cover this, but we know that Alan Walker, I think it's his name, is going to be hunting down Bucky and Sam, and that I think they're going to have a confrontation.
It's John Walker. John Walker.
I don't know why I said Alan Walker.
It's his brother. I don't know. So John Walker is going to hunt down Bucky and them. Okay.
Hunt down Bucky and them. Zemo or Bucky, someone is going to hold Alan. Oh, wow. Walker
John
down.
Walker.
John. And he's going to get his arm snapped. And yeah.
Okay, so how does he get the serum? Who's giving him the serum? Does he have one? Does someone know him?
I don't think he's getting the serum.
Well,
yes,
you're saying not next episode. You don't think he's going to get it at all?
I don't think he's getting it at all.
Oh no! See,
until he is healed, his arm is fine. He might get it for season 2.
No. This is. Let me teach you film 101 here. This is. There's 3 episodes left, right? No, wait. Yeah, 3 episodes left. 3 episodes, 4, 5, and 6. They are going to have to give this dude serum real fast, and then show the transformation of him becoming super arrogant, super pricky, to super dude with the serum in him, which makes him go haywire this season. Like this is the thing. I think not only does I'm saying for the rest of the series, I think Sam and him are going to go at it, and then the way he becomes Captain America is beating John Walker. Okay,
yeah,
that's how he becomes
and getting the shield back.
Right. So I think this next episode, this is when something happens to John Walker where he does become and takes the serum to get, because I believe in my eyes he still does not have the serum in him, right? And I believe this is the episode that they get in a big fight, like Gritter was saying, some sort of Mexican standoff or something, okay? And he gets badly injured, and then I don't know how, I just can't figure it out, but someone's going to approach him to give him the serum to heal him, right? So he's the reason his arm, so Krebsy, you're saying his arm gets broke or something happens to him, he's not gonna heal unless he takes that serum, and then he'll be fine, right? So
yeah. But
that's my big thing this episode. I think Walker gets injured and turns in and actually becomes the super soldier serum. He takes it this next episode.
Then what do you think is going to happen in episode 5?
We still got the power broker, right?
Oh, true.
Well, what could happen is, he could get either severely injured or just get beaten up, and either he's healing his pride or he's healing from real severe injuries through episode 5, and he, like the serum. I think the serum is going to be given to him in a way, and this may make sense in 30's mind as far as storytelling. Because Walker will get the serum in a way where he gets all strong and arrogant, and then he looks into the camera or something, breaking fourth wall, and has exposition that says, "And I'm getting that shield back, fade to black." And then you gotta wait till season 2, and he's going to be the antagonist trying to get back the shield he thinks he deserves, but Sam is now won from him in combat. Kind of like that sword,
right?
That thing from the Star Wars that the Mandalorian got, but Bo-Katan said she had to win it, and or I can't remember what the name of that thing was called. It was the Darksaber, like the Darksaber type thing. Anyway,
what if? Okay, because he is Captain America right now. John Walker's Captain America. What about if he goes off the deep end, right, and does something, and now our government covers it up because he goes AWOL, right? He goes crazy, and the government just cuts ties with him. And then that's when he goes down the rabbit hole and then takes the serum, and then that's when Sam takes over and they give it to him, right? Because they can't have a person like Walker where he can't represent America where he's going crazy and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something.
I can see that too. Yeah.
Sean, what kind of serum is slow acting? Like, what's he taking? Like molasses? I mean, I don't understand what kind of serum is going to take this long. Every person that takes the serum is like instantly activated with it. But yet John Walker's serum is taken like the slow route to get him superpowers. This episode, they spit in his face and he didn't show any kind of strength. Like, all they had to do to tell you that he had super serum in him was lift the guy up that spit in his face and hold him up in the air, right? Like, that would have proven to you, like, he's like, "Don't you know who I am?" And then he spit in his face. He spit in his face.
Also, 30.
He just picked him up.
This episode, there's a good inventory count for the audience. This inventory count done by the scientists, there's 20 vials and 8 are in play. But like you said, one person
died, so there's 12 left, right?
There's 12 left. So that 12 left is brought into the mind of the audience for a reason. It's not saying there's 12 left, but I have 3 in my shelf over here, or I had 12 left, but America has 100 left. No,
right?
There's only 12 left in the entire world. That number of 12 of saying not just it's in play not just for Walker, but people could theorize those serums are in play for other people. Who knows who else? I'm not going to say Sam's going to take the serum,
right?
I don't think he ever did in the comic book, but who knows? At the MCU, there's 12 serums in play,
right? Which could lead to many other people that are not even established yet in the MCU that could be getting these serums down the road. They could all just vanish. They could all there's a lot of stuff they can go on with it. I don't know. There's a lot that they can do. I just don't believe up to this point Walker has the serum in him. He's had multiple, and again, you guys are saying that he does, but every time we see this dude on film, he never shows any signs of it. He never shows any signs of having serum. And anytime someone does, they make sure they show you that these people have powers, right?
And it wasn't 21 serums, it was 20, and they all were taken. And Carly has
right. Carly has them all. Right, exactly. Right. Yeah. Carly has the remainder of the serums. So
now, I'm gonna throw a little grenade in here right quick. I'm gonna throw a little Krebsy grenade. I'm gonna coin that name. I copyright it. Yeah. But,
patent pending.
Do either of you think, or anyone in chat think, it's a coincidence that we have 12 serums left in play, and these serums were made in the city of Madripoor, even though we don't have mutants yet.
Yeah.
But do you think that somehow maybe one of the serums causes a mutation? Somehow, I don't know. That's just a little grenade I'm throwing. I think it's a little too coincidental for the one guy who made the serums. He's hiding out in Madripoor. That's where the
Okay, all I'm
birthplace of
hearing
these
is
new serums
Wolverine
came
confirmed.
You know,
well,
I heard-
Wolverine would already have. He would already be alive, right? So
Now,
he wouldn't be one of
also-
those serums. He would already have the
know-
serum.
I know our designated Wolverine's not here, but can someone in chat or anyone confirm? I heard there was an Easter egg revolving Wolverine aside from
Yeah, it's
just the city of Madrid.
it is. It's the bar. It's
okay.
the Princess Bar.
Princess Bar and the
Yeah.
bronze. What's the other word? Bronze something.
Oh,
Okay.
the bronze monkey. The
Yeah,
the other.
bronze, yeah.
It could lead into your theory if he gets injured for it to start taking form. Right. I just feel like there's something. Again, I'm only looking at it from. Again, I'm not a comic book person, Sean, when it comes down to knowing all these things. I am reading the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I read that through that series. I'm reading through the Falcon series now. So there's nothing that's like exactly what this series is. There's like bits and pieces that they're pulling from different things. So John Walker in the comics, yes, has the serum, but I don't believe nothing that they've showed me filming wise by telling a story, by just being a person that's just watching the film and seeing it, has showed me that he has superpowers yet.
The comics,
Also, go ahead, Krebs, go ahead.
the comics are reference material. The comics are not canon to the
Right.
MCU. Events are
Right.
not the same.
Yeah, it's a just like you said, it's stuff that they can pull from and then make into it, but it's not a 1-for-1 recreation of the comics.
Also, here's another Krebsy grenade. What if, because we have 12 vials in play, what if Walker says one vial is not enough? I need 2 or 3
Right?
of these things.
He takes
just
2 or
downs-
something, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3. Because you remember, he's supposed to be stronger than Captain America. I don't think 1 vial is enough. I don't think Carly and each one of them stronger than Captain America. So for him to get stronger than Cap, he's going to need to cut down a couple of them.
Well, what about if he follows Bucky and them to Madripoor, finds out that they went to that laboratory, that it's a burning mess that's on the dock, right? He happens to see some serum on the thing and he takes it, right? That could be a thing as well, right? So
Could be.
I don't know.
I mean, I know he's
there's
going to take, but I just think he's going to take more than 1 for him to get more stronger than Cap.
No, but what I'm
if
saying
you
is
wanna-
he could find one that was in the lab that was there that's not fully formed, is what I'm saying. And
Oh, I
so
see.
basically it's not
It's more
synthesized,
raw.
right? It's not
more raw than the other
synthesized
ones.
where it was like the ones that the Flag Smashers took. It's
Okay.
it's not that godlike creation that Nagel made. It's one that he was working on right then and there, where he was trying to recreate it, right?
If this is
Okay.
like Dragon Ball and the serum is like a power scale and all that, Captain America started as a scrawny little dude and
Right.
Walker is kind of buff now.
That's
so
true.
him taking 1 serum would make him stronger than Cap.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we'll see. I like it, Fuzzy. If he takes all 12, Abomination confirmed. Yeah. So look, I really do like the story. I really like how they're doing the series, right? Like we just watched the Snyder cut and they did it 6 parts. Basically, that's what this is. This is a 6-part film that we're watching right now. This last episode, I think, was like 50 minutes or 52 minutes. So I like that time length of an episode. If they can do the next 3 just as long, give us enough information and cover all the stuff, I think it'll be a nice little well-rounded. I so far the first 3 episodes were good. I like the way they pace it. There's good action, good comedy. The writing's not bad at all in any way. Even the little times they make little crappy jokes or crappy remarks here and there, or even IRL comments of like bringing us into reality, like, hey, look, these guys are real, they have the same problems as you, like even stuff like that. It doesn't ruin it for me in any way. I just bring it up to well, bring it up because it's there. And we talk about the episodes. So if anyone in chat, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns you feel that this episode has done so far, please ask now. If not, we'll kind of wrap up the episode. So let me know if you guys have any questions in chat or theories or speculations. I love Krebsy's here throwing grenades over here with some of the stuff that he said. Like, so far we have in like 3 sentences, he named 3 different people that could be the power broker. You know, Keanu Reeves being one of them. So I'm
yeah, that's a real big one
Keanu
right
Reeves.
That's right, Keanu Reeves. Right.
Taskmaster.
You said Taskmaster, Red Skull, Keanu Reeves, and Ross. You said 4 different people could be. I think it's nobody. I think it's just I think it's someone we don't even know yet.
It's Howard the Duck, obviously.
Yeah, but that would be pretty funny. Or it's
going to be the
oh
Ralph
my
Boner
god,
one.
that would be hilarious if it was Howard the Duck.
You know, it would be crazy if it was Jeff Goldblum's character from Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
You know what Sean just brought up. Could the 12 vials be for She-Hulk? It's interesting that you say that.
I was thinking that too.
The vials could be, and I don't want to compare them to the stones, right? But as we watch different movies, the stones always came around, right? They were always part of the thing. The serum here could be that same type of MacGuffin, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
As it goes through the series, right? Like, it could be in Loki, it could be in She-Hulk, it could happen in Miss Marvel, it could happen in Hawkeye. It could be these things like there's 12 vials, and then we find out that one keeps missing after each time, or this is where it moves to, or they could just all get rid of them right away, right? So that'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if it goes over to She-Hulk, Sean. It's a stretch, but I'm still hoping this leads into the 10 rings. Power broker could be not Ben Kingsley. Ooh, okay. Mephisto is the power broker. I'll go with that. Yeah. Oh, Zola. Yeah, Zola could be. Well, this is not from me. Now that you bring it up, I did watch something that did say that he could be in Madripoor. And there was one reference, I believe it was I don't know if it was New Rockstar or if it was one of the other ones, but they said that there was the TV screens that were there, and they have like the green type of stuff. Like
I thought that was just surveillance.
Well, but that's what he's saying. So basically, the reason the person this is not my theory, this is theirs, that the text came from Zola, right? Like, he is a machine, right? So he can text and find out things and do things that others can't. So he also is connected with the scientists back in the day. He could be the power broker.
That would be actually really cool.
Yeah, so they're saying, and again, I don't know much about the character myself. I know obviously we watched him from the Captain America series and stuff like that. So it could be Zola. Again, but this is like the Mephisto theory, right? It could be the Mephisto theory all over again. But it'd be interesting if it is him, because it would make sense that he went to Madripoor, and maybe Sharon's working for him but doesn't know who the power broker is because they never met him. You know what I mean? It's just this entity, this computer being. Be interesting. Be interesting.
Like Skynet.
It would make sense.
Skynet.
It would make sense on how all those people got notified that Shelby died so quickly.
Oh, yeah, that would also kind of confirm that, right? Because it was like instantaneous, right when it happened. Nice pickup there. I didn't even think about that, because it happened fast, right? I don't think the first thing that someone did in that room, right? Can you imagine, like, the 3 guys that were in the room, kill him, boom, sniper shot into the chest, and all of a sudden one guy, instead of pulling for his gun, he pulls out his text and right, Shelby's dead. And it's like, you might be, that might be a good connection.
That reminds me of John Wick in a way.
Ultimate twist, it was Agatha all along.
Yeah.
Yeah, White Vision.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe it could be White Vision. He could connect the stuff too. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It seems interesting. Definitely, it seems interesting if it is it. I'm not on that train, but I'd be okay with it. I'd be okay with it. Oh, you're good, Fuzzy. It's all good. So does anybody else probably set up? Shelby was probably set up. What do you mean it was set up? Set up to get killed?
Set up.
What do you mean by that, Human? As far as
Fuzzy and Human need to call in.
That would be hard if it was a setup, because they would have to know that Sam's sister was going to call him like that. That's the only thing that really ruined everything.
Yeah, that whole sequence.
I know, that bothered me.
That whole sequence. One, it wasn't funny, right? Like it just didn't bring any humor to it. Two, I don't think it brought anything else to that scene. I thought it was just kind of like, I guess it's still trying to connect. Like he's just an everyday guy, right? Like they're trying to humanize him. Like not only is he a Secret Service agent and he's Falcon, but he's also got his sister to worry about. I don't know. I just feel like it's again, you didn't need it in that moment. You could have called 10 minutes after they were done, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Human says she was sniped, then immediately the alert was ready.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I like what Krebsy said, that it could be Zola, because if it is Zola, it was instantaneous. How do you text everyone in Madripoor that the exact same moment? It has to be someone that's linked network wise to send it out. It's almost like getting an Amber Alert, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Having Hydra back in this, I don't know. It would be cool, but I feel like the Hydra chain has left the station, and I don't want it.
Yeah, me too. I agree with Krebs on that.
But does he have to be? I know Zola was with Hydra, but does it have to be that he's still with Hydra? Why can't he just be his own thing now?
He was Hydra back in Winter Soldier.
No, I understand that. But just because he was Hydra, I mean, look at Bucky. He was Hydra, but he was also a good guy before he became Hydra, and now he's not Hydra.
You can't change an AI.
Well, no, he wasn't. Well, he was Hydra before he became AI. I guess, no, he was still Hydra, though. He's still... Yeah, I know where you're going with it. I don't know. I feel like it's a good thing, but at the same time, I said it, episode 1, I was like, I hope they don't bring Hydra in, but you know, Hydra is part of Marvel. You know what I mean? Like Skywalker's part of Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Spectre of Marvel.
Yeah,
like a Spectre is for James Bond, I guess. Hydra.
I guess they kind of already brought Hydra in when they brought Zemo in, and the whole.
Well, they brought him, and then even in Wanda, yeah, even in Wanda, they made references to Hydra. You know what I mean? So I think you're always going to have those references, though, because it's a huge point. It's a huge point in the world.
What if it's AIM?
It could be AIM. There was another person that talked about the scene that when someone went, I forget which one it was. Pardon me if you guys know. I don't remember which one. If you guys saw the video, someone was talking about a line that Zemo talks about when he talks about he lost all his fortune or whatever to the neighboring area of Sokovia, and I don't remember the name of the neighboring place, but it's where Doctor Doom is from.
Liberia.
Is that what it is? Liberia?
Live.
Right. And what the guy was saying was that maybe because Sokovia is not there, now the person that's neighboring it, they're farming for it, which then could potentially make the Doctor Doom armor and whatnot from all the materials that they're getting from that, right? So I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting, which if it does, and again, this is just a speculation from someone else, and I'm just repeating it, which could set up the Fantastic Four, because we do know Fantastic Four is coming in, but it's far away. But maybe that's how they set up Doctor Doom, as far as, again, I'm not saying it in this series, just that one line that Zemo says kind of gives us kind of a hint that the neighboring country is profiting off of where Sokovia was. He said Sokovia land was devoured by the neighbors before the rubble was cleared. Right. So it could mention. Thank you for the quote there, Human. So it could reference that the neighboring country is where Doom is from, and he was collecting the stuff, right? Which would be pretty cool. It would be a pretty cool look out there.
We are going to get a Sokovia memorial scene with Zemo.
Yes,
it's true. Yeah.
Even when he mentions it, have you visited? I bet you by the end of the series, they'll all be there visiting, right?
So this is why I don't think next episode, Ao's not going to be able to take him back to prison. I don't think he's going to visit the memorial next episode. I think it's going to be either episode 5, probably episode 6.
Yeah, I think the very end. I think the very end they make it something along the lines of he wants to pay respects and they go there, give him respect. Something. I don't know. I mean, it's real easy for him to go now. He just gets in the plane and goes. He's out and about. I liked it. I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. I'm very excited to see what happens. I think. Do you think we're gonna get any other cameos? I mean, we didn't know we were getting a cameo from Ao from Wakanda. Do you think there's gonna be any other?
Yes,
any other place?
I do. I think we'll probably get at least one more cameo. I have no idea who it is, and this is the good part of this is about one of the few good things about everything we've seen in the trailers. We've already seen in the episodes. We don't know what's coming now.
It's true.
Ross.
Yeah, you think Ross? I do think we get Ross. I don't know if he's the power broker, but I do think we get Ross at some point. If it's an end scene credit, or if he shows up in the show, I do think we'll get a Ross cameo in this series.
What's after Falcon?
Loki. Yeah. Loki's after that, and then after Loki, I'm not even sure.
Black Widow.
Well, no, I meant TV series. Sorry, I think it's Miss. I think it's Miss Marvel.
Yeah, Miss Marvel.
It's Miss Marvel and then Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye is the last one. I think of the year.
We're definitely getting Miss Marvel before the end of this year, correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it's
They're already filming, so that yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, I think it's Miss Marvel after Loki, and then it goes into and then She-Hulk is next year, or I think She-Hulk, and I forget the other show. There's another show. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's coming out as well. And
I need to look up that character because I know that's probably blasphemy for Marvel.
I posted it in one of the Discord chats.
Yeah, I think you posted it in my. Hold on, you put it in the. I think it was WandaVision 1. Let me see. You posted a whole list of stuff, didn't you?
30. I need to join your Discord too, man, because I'm so bad at that, man.
I need to join Soldier. That. What we got here? Yeah. Okay, so we have WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Miss Marvel, Hawkeye. That's the end of this year, Hawkeye. Then next year is She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, Armor Wars, and then I Am Groot is the end of that. And then the Christmas special of Guardians of the Galaxy.
So we get like a whole year next year of just all new stuff. They don't even need to do season 2 of this year's shows.
Correct.
Until the year after next.
They're on a 2-year swing. So like if there was a Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier season 2, they could push it into next year, but it probably won't be until 2023. Yeah.
Okay, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Season 2 is not confirmed with any show yet.
That's
Correct.
true.
Correct.
That's true, but that's still good wiggle room to have good quality in production scaling if they want to keep doing new seasons. That's good.
All right. Well, that will do it for this week's episode of the Falcon and Winter Soldier podcast, episode 3. We'll be back to Friday night, 11 p.m. I know it's late for a lot of you, but it works for me and Wolvie. So you guys can watch it after the fact. The call-in show is right now, Tuesday next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, when you guys call in, and we'll go over questions and comments. I want to thank my co-host for filling in for Wolverine this week. Gritter and Krebsy, thank you very much for always calling in and really just filling in this week for the co-host spot.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having
much
us.
for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You guys can find me over on 30 and Still Gaming on my own YouTube channel, and you can also follow me on twitch.tv/30 and Still Gaming Monday mornings from 10 o'clock till 2 p.m. and then also on Monday through Thursday from 8 p.m. to midnight over on YouTube. Appreciate it very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.